Original name. H.P. Hogwarts, A Daily Life. As the title suggests, Harry Potter fan, easy daily fun article. Introduction. On Dali's birthday, Harry Potter, who was working at home, received a strange letter addressed to him as a boy who survived a great disaster. P.S. Traverse female lead, C.P. Draco. Respect the original work, but there are private devices, pro Slytherin, and modified works. Do not read if you do not like it. At present, I am updating the song Tan Chronicles and seeking support. Keywords of the novel. Amazing Magic without pop-ups, Amazing Magic Complete Collection download, Amazing Magic latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Written at the beginning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 written at the beginning as the title suggests. As introduced. Originally named, Hogwarts, a section of daily life. The cover is from Mrs. Lisas on Weibo and is authorized to be used as the cover. This article is more likely to be written for several years, as a work to adjust one's mood. Key points. 1. Pro Slytherin, the male lead is likely Draco and has a neutral view of Harry. 2. There are many private settings, and the original citations will be marked. Some may be too lazy to mark or forget. In my eyes, Harry is a sports prodigy, Quidditch is excellent, with an average level of magic and good spells, he has too many 1.1 teachers teaching him, he is still a Horcrux, and has a lot of thrilling practical experience, he is a good boy, but not a genius. 4. Draw key points. Objectively treat the Dursley family. In 1991, the British economy declined and the industrial index stagnated, but the situation was actually quite bad. Some readers only talk about good policies abroad, such as education subsidies and childbirth subsidies. Please take a look at the era. There are many green books in the UK, and the finances are in a mess, unable to supply them at all. In the 1990s, the vast majority of schools did not have free lunch. According to the Education Law of 1904, some public schools could provide lunch to impoverished students, some, public, impoverished. Schools that can provide lunch are raising tuition fees again, even causing parents to protest several times. As for the parenting allowance. Oh, it's a matter of whether you can get it or not. So, we can't accept the fact that Harry's stay at Penny's house is just a burden on them, even if they are holding Harry's inheritance and not paying a single Kingerong support, so we don't have to look at it anymore. This is the key point, let me finish reading. I'm really annoyed that some people start criticizing without understanding anything. Is it because of the current trend of raising children with the Virgin Mary? Do you deserve to be a savior by giving everything you have to be considerate and caring for your lungs? Okay, bring back the topic. Dursley is a salesperson, perhaps a sales manager, and only Vernon has income. Harry, of course, also suffered hardships and grievances in this family. But it's outrageous to take someone else's efforts for granted when there is revenge and gratitude. Harry is even a troublemaker. He has been involved in the school magic riot, original work, more than once, and readers with children can empathize with the pain that teachers inflict on their parents every day. Also, Harry is a freak with his parents dying mysteriously, for ordinary people, so he was adopted because of Dumbledore's intimidation. But don't ordinary people really have to worry? The Dursley family is not a righteous good person, and Dali is also a bad child, but regardless of whether they are proactive or passive, their family has protected Harry for many years. Dudley also saved Harry when he grew up. So, in my book, they are not antagonists. 5. This book is a fan-based secondary creation based on the original work, without an outline. You can see where it is written. If you don't like it, just exit decisively while there is no charge. The magical world is very interesting, and the filters in the magical world are also very thick. A few years ago, when it came to writing and reading novels, whether it was for Slytherin, Gryffindor, or Hecapachi Ravenclaw, everyone could accept it. The protagonist can be either male or female, human or demon, and can date Harry, Draco, Snape, and even Voldemort. Everyone only looks good or bad, and never strives for perfection. I really miss it. Of course, I also like those beauties who are chasing updates every day, just like my heart. In short, this book is based on the author's own ideas. If you have different opinions or policy errors, please feel free to discuss and correct them. But please retain your wisdom and reject any suggestions or self-righteousness that come with your mouth open. Thank you all. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. The Boy Who Survived a Cataclysm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. The Boy Who Survived a Cataclysm. Foucault County in the Dirty Riverside Bridge Cave, June 12, 1991. Surrey County, Ziowegian District No. 4. Privet Drive. Storage room under stairs. Received by Mr. Harry Potter. Mr. Harry Potter. I mean, if there really is Harry Potter in this world. Before this, I also sent it to Sherlock Holmes at 221B, Baker Street in London, but then the postman returned the letter with a red postmark that said, "No one found this person." When Langbuting comes to London, the first thing I need to know is what kind of world it is, right? Thank goodness, the beautiful country here doesn't have the Superman of the metropolis. There is no Batman from Gotham either. Not even the Flash of the Central City, and Stark Industries. Okay, I dare to write on the letter only after confirming that I don't have these. In short, I can't think of anything special about London in 1991. Until I saw an owl. So I had a sudden idea, what if there were Harry Potter? Right, the boy who survived the disaster. Although I don't know if this letter will be returned. In fact, I have already accepted reality myself. No matter how absurd, as long as it happens and exists, it can only be accepted. But the postman is a kind-hearted boy with freckles on his face. He always comforts me that it's because this envelope is too old. It's really considerate. This is clearly the old envelope I dug out of the garbage pile, and I thank him for being willing to help me deliver it. So, this is the last letter. Let me see what's different in this world. So, Mr. Harry Potter. If it's really you, would you be willing to reply to me? Yours faithfully, Lynn. And, Miss, Harry was lying in his locker, facing the old letter in front of him, filled with indescribable joy in his heart. This morning. Well, it's Dudley's birthday, but unfortunately, Harry released a Brazilian python at the zoo. Harry sighed. He didn't mean it. However, this frightened Dali, as well as his classmate Pierre, to the point where the entire Dursley family had no face, which was very disappointing. In order to comfort his dear and poor little Dada, Harry was ordered to return to the locker for confinement. But confinement is confinement, and the work that should be done is equally important. For example, taking letters. Uncle Vernon said, "Dolly, go get it." Dudley would say, "Let Harry take it." If Harry didn't move, Aunt Penny would say, "Take your smithing cane and drive him to get it." This is the school uniform that Dolly wore together at Smeton High School, which is also Mr. Dursley's alma mater. The father and son are quite proud, often waving like a wizard's staff. Harry doesn't want to be beaten. So he went to get the letter. Happy birthday to Dada, a letter from Aunt Penny's friend from Mayoka Island, and, the bottom one. Old, dirty, even like a crumpled letter. It says, "Received by Mr. Harry Potter." For a moment, Harry felt like he couldn't breathe. There seemed to be nerve beats in the brain, and the sound of the heart was amplified. A hot stream of blood rushed up to the forehead. In short, this was an unprecedented surprise that he had never thought of before. Surprisingly. Someone. Give it to him. Write a letter to Harry Potter. Anyway, Harry thought it was God's guidance, so he hid the letter in his pocket. Returning to the storage room, he almost opened the letter with a devout attitude and extra caution. Not doing so is not enough, whether it's envelopes or letters, they are too fragile. As if it had been rubbed and crushed by someone, and as if it had been carefully flattened by someone. He was the first to see the time. The time of sending the letter is June 12th, but now it is Dali's birthday, June 23rd. Oh my God. Harry, who had read this letter again, was almost about to jump up. It's been so long, and if he hasn't replied yet, how sad should he be on the other side of the letter? I just finished writing this chapter and Emma went viral. My pen is really a bit magical. Damn it, how can this continue? End of this chapter. Chapter 3. 2, First Letter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3-2. First Letter Surrey County Ziowegian District No. 4 Privet Drive June 23, 1991 Foucault County in the Dirty Riverside Bridge Cave Miss Lynn Collection. Dear Miss Lynn and hello, I am very happy to write to you. I am Harry Potter, I mean, I am the Harry Potter you mentioned who lives under the stairs. It's strange, I don't know how you know I live under the stairs. Dudley bounces a few times on the stairs every morning, and dust is all over my face. Aunt Penny said I was going to attend classes at Stonewall High School soon, and she dyed Dolly's old clothes for me to wear. To be honest, when I can fit into that set of oversized clothes, this storage room won't be able to hold me anymore. Perhaps by then, the balcony upstairs can share with me. But I still want to share with you today. The day I wrote this letter. The speed of delivery is really unpredictable, and I only received your letter on June 23rd. I don't know if it's already July when you received a reply. Today is Dolly's birthday, and I had the opportunity to go to the zoo with him, but unfortunately, I seem to have messed up. There is a huge python. It says it is a Brazilian breed. Of course, Uncle Vernon said that if I dare to say anything strange again, he will send me to the hospital and have the doctor pry open my brain. But it's amazing. The Brazilian python, who had never been to Brazil before, let's assume he was from Brazil, was not very energetic, so when Dolly desperately slapped the glass and shouted, I felt that he didn't even bother to pay attention. But at this moment, the entire glass disappeared. That's right, it disappeared completely. Dolly plunged into the pool. Ha ha ha. Well, although this is not good, I really feel happy. Even if I were confined, I felt like it was a perfect day when I returned home. Of course, your letter made this day even more meaningful. Dolly always bullies me, and I can't beat him. This is really a frustrating topic. I'm sorry, I got off topic again. What I mean is, how do you know about me? What is a boy who survived a great disaster? I guess you know the situation when my parents had a car accident back then. That's why you call me that. And Mr. Sherlock Holmes, is he very famous? If you still need to search, I will also help inquire. But pray that it's not too far. I don't have the money to take the bus. As for the American superheroes you mentioned, oh, that's too far away. I haven't even left London, sorry I can't help you. However, it doesn't matter. Because I have never received a letter from someone else before. When Dolly and Shima chatted, they said that it is popular to make pen pals now. Can we consider this way? Don't you have a place to live? How old are you then? I hope you are about the same age as me, because Dolly always teases me at school and I still don't have good friends. Of course, if you're older, I don't mind either. Please don't be constrained. Are you Chinese? I've read this name many times, I'm not sure if it's standardized or not. I remember Aunt Penny said there would be such a name in Chinatown, it's always difficult to pronounce. But their doctors are skilled in magical magic, using round glass jars to ignite fires and buckle them on their backs, which are said to be able to treat illnesses. I seem to have deviated from the topic again. Anyway, I have to repeat it again, I'm really surprised. Enclosed with the letter are 3 pence. I hope you don't feel underestimated. This money was secretly earned by me for mowing the lawn in the Morin area further away. I originally planned to use it to buy myself a small cake. My birthday is coming up during the summer vacation. You can use this money to buy stamps and writing paper. I hope to receive your letter again. Yours faithfully Harry Potter. The previous picture of Pierre and Majorca Island both appeared inside the Philosopher's Stone. Pierre was Dada's good companion and was skilled at cutting Harry's arm backhand and letting Dada bully him. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. 3. Reply. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4-3. Reply. Early July in London is clearly not a good season. The sky here is mostly gloomy, and the entire field of view is like old film from the last century. When Lennon emerged from under the bridge, a skinny young man was already lying there, disheveled. There is no way, even as a homeless person, there is oppression and resistance. At least Lennon is now a successful rebel. She carried an old wristwatch that she had just touched from the other person in her pocket, and the time showed 3:30 p.m. The watch is a Rolex, and considering it was taken off the wrist of a homeless person, it is obviously not from the right direction. But it doesn't matter anymore. In the face of survival, etiquette and shame can be temporarily forgotten. Just like her clothes are already a bit moldy now, and her hair hasn't been cleaned for over a week. As a wandering little girl, of course, the dirtier the safer. In 1991, in London, life in an orphanage was barely possible, but as a young girl with an outer appearance but a mature social animal in her heart, Lennon had no choice but to imagine her life in an orphanage. She spent a whole month familiarizing herself with the world, and another month accumulating the first step of living funds for herself. Now I have almost 20 pounds all over my body. Not to mention anything else, short-term food and clothing can be guaranteed. Now it's time to think about how to earn money and ensure safety with this body that is already in its teens. She had washed herself clean before. The delicate white skin and soft contours of an Oriental, paired with deep eye sockets and a high nose bridge. The beauty of a mixed race was so vividly displayed on Lennon that she had to bury herself in a garbage dump. But this messy image makes it impossible for her to even rely on herself. Life has never been so sad. Just then, the sound of jingling bells came from a distance. Bicycle. Lennon perked up and stood by the roadside. After so long, she considered that she might wear books and movies, but 2 months is enough time to erase all her fantasies. The waiting at this moment is just for the young postman. As the bell approached, a young figure riding a bicycle appeared at the end of the path. The other person has messy brown curly hair and a somewhat handsome facial features. Of course, it's best not to look up close. Otherwise, the aesthetic of a Chinese person born and raised in their previous life would not be able to appreciate those freckled faces. Hey. Lynn. Hey, Hank. Hank propped up his bicycle on one foot and, familiar with the way, flipped out a thick educational magazine from the back pocket. I brought it from the post office. He blinked at Lennon, obviously familiar with this kind of easy fishing behavior. If there are any riddles, prize-winning essays, arithmetic problems, and so on, you will have another income. Lennon reached out and took it, pretending to ignore the black mud between his nails. Since he was pretending, he had to disguise himself to the end. Unless she can ensure her safety, she will never dress up clean and dignified. Even if facing Hank, who is already familiar. Hank clearly sighed and said, "Lynn, your eyes are very beautiful. I don't understand why you don't want to take a shower." A decent working person cannot understand the grievances of wandering girls. Lennon smiled but remained silent, burying her head and flipping through the old magazine. And just then, Hank suddenly remembered. "By the way, I have your reply." End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Second letter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Second letter. Foucault County in the well-tidied Bridge Cave, July 18, 1991. Surrey County, Ziowegian District No. 4. Privet Drive. Storage room under stairs. Received by Mr. Harry Potter. Surprisingly, Mr. Harry Potter. Receiving a reply really gives me a dreamy feeling of falling into a fairy tale. This is so wonderful. Every adult with childlike innocence is looking forward to an owl. Cross out this sentence. I'm very happy. You probably can't understand the feeling of wandering around, not the wandering of the body, but the restlessness of the heart. In this world, I have no place to belong and cannot integrate. If I could go back to the past, whether it's a quirky boss or a foolish colleague, I can tolerate it. Do you understand? As long as we can get out of here. But I have tried many ways, and the most serious one was when I almost died, but when I opened my eyes, it was still spider silk floating in the bridge. I always thought I was a very strong person, but that time I cried for a long time, probably because the wailing was too terrifying, and I met Hank. Hank is the kind postman. He comforted me that if I wanted to find someone, he could help me find any discarded envelopes and stamps, if I could still remember someone else's contact information. So I started writing letters crazily. Later on, you also found out. You are the only one who replied to the letter. Sorry, I'm actually not good at confiding in people, and I shouldn't even say such a heavy and painful topic in front of children like you. Please forgive me. What I want to express is that your existence is like an anchor point in this special time and space, which gives me the courage to continue living and the hope for the future. Dear little Harry, I have always felt that such a foreigner's name may sound a bit cheesy, but now you are truly my dear Harry, please forgive my intrusion. I hope that after July, no matter what changes our world may have. After all, there is a high possibility that I am a muggle and will never wait for my owl to belong to me. In short, I hope we will always be friends. Also, thank you for 3 pence. I know mowing the lawn is not an easy task. For children, the huge recoil of a lawn mower can make their arms ache. Don't misunderstand, as a dirty homeless person, I am not qualified to do this kind of work, but I have heard others say it. I have actually saved some money, but just because of a letter, I am willing to send all my savings to Mr. Harry Potter. Your kindness in character has touched me deeply. Don't worry about me, since I have found the direction of life, I will live a better life from now on. Believe me, I have found a way to make money. That is, to write articles for some newspapers. Perhaps one day, you can see me in the newspaper. By the way, your birthday is coming up soon, isn't it? If I remember correctly, it's the last day of July. Attached is a birthday gift. In fact, I received this letter on the 12th, but it was delayed for a while to prepare the gift. The delivery efficiency in the UK is really moving, even if we are in London, I can't even grasp its progress. I even suspect they circled the entire UK before delivering the letter to you. Hank said it wasn't like this before, it's just that there was a shortage of manpower during this period, and even he had to take on several more blocks of work than before. Alas, I missed the daily and next day delivery of logistics. I hope you like this gift. I hope you will always be happy. Yours faithfully, Lynn. And end of this chapter. Chapter 6. 5, Third Letter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6-5. Third Letter, Surrey County, Ziowegian District No. 4, Privet Drive, July 22, 1997, Foucault County. In the well-cleaned Bridge Cave, Miss Lynn. Collection. Dear Lynn, and the speed of this postal delivery is really amazing. Even luckier, when I received the letters and packages, I was the only one at home. I was secretly watching TV. The Great Humbert, which was replayed during the day. Dudley really liked this TV series, and I also really enjoyed it. But I have only seen a little. Dali and Peel went to see boxing, hoping they wouldn't learn any new moves. After all, I am the one practicing. Uncle Vernon is busy with his drilling rig orders, and Aunt Penny has gone to visit Mrs. Figg. Don't misunderstand, Aunt Penny is not a philanthropist, but who let her beloved little darling Dada accidentally knock down this poor old lady who keeps many stray cats while driving a toy racing car the day before yesterday. Although Mrs. Figger has a strange temper, she treats me well and occasionally invites me to have a cake, but the chocolate cake looks like it's expired. When I went to visit her, her expression was very unpleasant, so I didn't dare to tell anyone that I have a pen pal who gives me parasitic gifts. Yes. I received your birthday gift. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I mean, Dali received 30.8 birthday gifts last year, and 30.9 this year, actually only 30.7, 2 of which were later added by Aunt Penny, but on my birthday, I only received Uncle Vernon's old woolen socks. So, you are the first friend to give me a birthday gift. I am really happy. Moreover, this gift is exactly what I urgently need. The glasses I am wearing now are old ones that Aunt Penny doesn't know where to come from. Because Dudley often beats me, the legs of the glasses have broken several times. The lenses were also glued with adhesive tape. I even doubt whether it can persist until the end of Shirtyan Middle School. At this moment, you, dear Linen, you even gave me a pair of glasses. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. To be honest, although you have added 2 extra pairs of lenses to this pair of eyes in the letter, the clearest and most comfortable one is the one originally on the glasses, which is 800 degrees. Oh my goodness, I didn't even know that my myopia was 800 degrees. My previous pair was only 600 degrees. Aunt Penny has always said that my nearsightedness is a consequence of my parents' car accident, and in her words, Guri is strange. Crazy. I often don't know if she's talking about me or about a car accident. Anyway, these glasses are really amazing. It's lighter and clearer than before, and even Mrs. Figger said it made my emerald green eyes bigger and brighter, looking more like me. As for who she looked like, she stopped talking later. Anyway, thank you very much for your birthday gift, but I haven't dared to wear it yet because I'm worried that Dali might damage it again. But don't worry, when school starts, Dali will go to Smithing Middle School and I will stay at Shirtyan Middle School. I will definitely wear it then. Dear Linen, I don't know how much this pair of glasses costs, I hope it won't cost you too much. Also, you haven't told me yet, how old are you? When is your birthday celebrated again? I hope you don't get too close, otherwise I'm afraid I won't save enough money to give you a gift. Also, no matter what age you are always my best friend. The best. And I, you know, Harry James Potter, was 11 years old on July 31st. Yours faithfully, Harry Potter. I've been thinking about Harry's degree for a while, but there seems to be no exact number. So Baidu revealed a detail. The first thing he did when he lost his glasses was to explore. To describe it as groping, this degree of myopia is very frightening. If you think about it again, he started wearing glasses from a young age, so this degree is probably a deep-rooted big problem. Even magic did not help him solve his myopia problem. Just set it to 800 degrees privately. Wearing glasses certainly requires more professionalism, but considering that Harry's glasses are already in poor condition, coupled with issues of age and money, it's better to make do with them for now. In addition, the 800-degree lens is very thick and will not make the eyes brighter or larger. However, Harry's glasses before were really terrible. Here is the feeling after comparison. Actually, I don't want to explain so much. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. 6. Owl's Fourth Letter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7-6. Owl's Fourth Letter. Foucault County in the well-tidied Bridge Cave, July 31, 1991. Surrey County, Ziowegian District No. 4. Privet Drive. Storage room under stairs. Received by Mr. Harry Potter. Harry. I never expected such a coincidence. The day I received the letter happened to be your birthday. Wishing you a happy birthday from afar. Starting from today, your life will be very different. Don't ask me how I found out. Maybe it's because of an owl. That's right, on July 22nd, I repeatedly revised my second article Under the Bridge, and then an owl, or maybe a carved owl. Sorry, I couldn't quite distinguish. Anyway, you know, emerald green ink, a badge, Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Principal Albus Dumbledore, President of the International Federation of Wizards, First-Class Magician of the Order of Merlin, Chief Magician of Visangamo. Here's a sentence. This title is really unknowingly sharp, really very high. End. Dear Miss Lin, and we are pleased to inform you that you have been approved to attend Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Please find attached a list of required books and equipment. The semester is scheduled to start on September 1st, and we will be waiting for your owl before July 31st to receive your reply. Vice President Dear Maliva McGonagall, have you received it? I guess I must have received it. After all, you are a famous boy who never died in a disaster. Fortunately, shortly after I finished writing my reply, Professor McGonagall personally came over. Sorry, that may not be very dignified, but after all, with a loud bang, we met under this well-tidied-up bridge. Professor McGonagall's affectionate gaze really surprised me, but I wasn't that miserable either. Then, as a poverty-stricken student, I received a subsidy from Jean Gelon. Thankfully, if I hadn't received 9 years of compulsory education, even though I had already saved £35 now, going to school would still be too difficult, so, I can also answer your question now. I, Linen, am 11 years old and my birthday is 7.22, you can think of what gift to give me next year. Unfortunately, I may not be able to go to Diagon Alley with you. Professor McGonagall specifically came to guide me, so when I reply now, I have already been to Diagon Alley. The world of magic is truly magical. However, due to all monopolistic operations, it is really difficult to negotiate prices. But this won't stump me. On the day I went to Diagon Alley, I saw several senior students clearly wearing uniforms, so I specifically talked to them and bought the second-hand first-grade books they were about to throw away. Wow! It's much cheaper than the second-hand bookstore I asked before. To be honest, selling all the books before graduation is really good. In China, these things need to be reviewed before graduation. However, the few people I found are probably academic scumbags, and their books are even quite new, except for one book whose cover was burned out with a circle, which is said to have been burned while practicing magic spells. I need to use scales, telescopes, medicine bottles, crucibles, and so on about every semester, so I can only go to a second-hand store to buy them. Fortunately, I found a set with good appearance. I didn't buy a pet, I heard there is one at school. I just heard that all electronic products cannot be used at Hogwarts, so if I can't send emails, my writing career will be doomed before it even starts. After all, even if it's handwritten, you can't let the owl send me the manuscript, can you? It seems that I need to think about any other ways to earn money in school. The efficiency of letters nowadays is really slow, Harry. I can't wait to learn about the magic world, so I probably won't write to you in August. On September 1st, I will be waiting for you at stations 9 and March 4th. I hope you can recognize me. You're faithful. Lynn, and in fact, I have carefully typeset every letter, but the author's backend has automatically adjusted it for me again. Next, there will be fewer letters because some things are not suitable for writing with letters. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. 7. Preschool Preparation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8-7. Preschool Preparation. Lynn and is writing vigorously. Don't misunderstand, she's not working hard to prepare for her studies as mentioned in the letter, but seizing the opportunity she finally got a while ago to write gossip for an unknown newspaper in London. That's right, Gossip Secrets. Please, please. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, almost never had a chance to be published, and there were even no magazines willing to take it. Can she really write a good article that caters infinitely to the London market as a wandering child? And gossip tabloids only focus on whether articles can attract people. In their previous lives, Linen, who suffered from various negative media and shocking rumors, ultimately lost 10 pounds. Alas, the Dragon Slayer eventually became a dragon because he had no money. There are many anonymous individuals who write articles for such gossip tabloids, and it is not surprising that Linen is among them. Once the article is accepted, it can be as low as 10 pounds and as high as 180 pounds. Even though she was not familiar with London at all in 1991, it didn't prevent her from writing some bizarre news, and that's how she saved up her money. Once you enter Hogwarts, this business that comes with money is likely to come to an end. But not to mention anything else, even if Hogwarts provides food and accommodation, being a young girl, or a developing girl, Lynn must prepare for the sanitary napkins that she doesn't know when to use. I don't know if it's possible to stay on campus during winter and summer vacations, but I won't be able to stay in a bridge or cave. At least buy a suitcase before school starts. And clean underwear. Life is so difficult. Fortunately, she is still skilled in storytelling, especially when it comes to creating some rural mysteries, combining magic and Chinese rural supernatural stories. In short, for every piece she writes, she can earn £50, and Lynn will not miss this opportunity. After careful calculation, she has now saved nearly £300, can rent a house for nearly half a year, and can exchange for nearly 60 gold coins. This is really good news. Once again, she checked her savings and sealed all the stories she had accumulated in envelopes. She had agreed with Hank to send out one letter a month, and if there was any writing fee, Hank would be given 10%. This certainly carries risks, after all, money tests human nature. But as a wandering girl, Lynn had no other choice. No big deal, Hank doesn't admit this money, and what she lost was just the effort to write the manuscript. Of course, Lynn believes that after learning magic, she must have a way to get back this money. Hank is very kind, and Lynn has already made up her mind. Even if she doesn't have money, she won't do that. Take it as a reward for him. But it's just a challenge for this semester. She plans to meet Hermione after enrollment, and if she can establish a good relationship, perhaps she can entrust this job to her family next semester. The profitable work is over, and Lynn opens Hogwarts, a history of the school. Pre-reading homework is engraved on the soul of every 9-year compulsory education person. Hogwarts courses, among other things, can easily attract a Hengshui student to take a 12-0 exam, which is not a problem at all. But she couldn't help but run away for a moment. In the past, it was just the previous life. Lynn has always felt that Harry Potter is not the protagonist, as he has no brain or talent, and even dislikes him like every inexperienced teenage boy. But when a slightly disliked character became her psychological anchor to settle in this world, Lynn had to admit that she saw the other person through a filter. When she receives those 3 pence again, alas, the sincerity of a child really moves the older beauty. Regarding London rent, no specific information was found. But in the 1950s, the rent in London was £30 per year, with a yard, and now it's around £700 per month, for a slightly high-quality single room. This is a private facility. In 1991, the rent in London was £50 per month, with a yard. This article may not necessarily have CP, but it is definitely not Harry. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. 8. Wand. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 10. 9 Magic Spells. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 10-9. Magic Spells. If Hogwarts, a School History, is an introductory book to the magical world, then the importance of magic theory is equivalent to mathematical formulas. All the foundations of magic are in this book. The Theory of Magic is a rather dull book, with dense texts throughout. Anyone who is a scumbag can only endure for 10 minutes before falling asleep. Congratulations, Lynn possesses the energy of a young man and the self-control of an adult. If she cannot learn magic well, she cannot guarantee that she will be able to live safely in the future. After all, the risk of death for students after Voldemort's resurrection is 0 and 100%. Or, what else can she do if she doesn't learn magic in this world now? Lynn then read word by word and sentence by sentence. She bought a few notebooks and organized them from key points to mind maps, determined to preview all the books within this month. Of course, after flipping through the thick sheepskin book, she sincerely thanked the school for its kindness towards first-grade students. After all, it was written in the book that when Harry Potter was in 3rd and 4th grade, there was a book called The Monster Book of the Monsters, or something that would bite people anyway. And the books in 1st grade are all ordinary without any magic. The opening of magic theory only has one introduction: Merlin bestows upon us magical powers, but don't forget that everything comes from faith. A D.B. Wolflin, author. The introduction is something that many people subconsciously overlook when reading. But in regular textbooks, the introduction can more vividly summarize the essence and core of this book. Lennon copied this sentence into his notebook and read it carefully 3 times. Everything comes from faith. That's magic. Aside from physical genetics and genetic mutations, on the other hand, it's related to beliefs. What can beliefs influence? The strength of magic. Or the speed of learning? Lennon suppressed the urge to learn a magic spell and experiment, and honestly finished reading most of this boring book, marking many key points on his own, intending to memorize them before the start of school. She doesn't want to memorize either. But since we have to learn sooner or later, let's learn everything we should during the vacation. When the school starts, you can fill in any gaps during class, review again to deepen your impression, and explore the Hogwarts castle after class. A magical castle, who can resist curiosity? After all, there are no household magic phones now. But a beginner's theory of a new worldview is not so easy to learn. Lennon spent a full 3 days reading this book in its entirety. She now understands why there are still people who fail to study magic. These theories are just too boring. In her previous life, at least she would have to wait until university to struggle to digest them. Fortunately, you can start learning magic spells in the next volume. Miranda Goshawk's Standard Spell. Beginner. I vaguely remember that Miranda is still living in Hogsmeade now. Lennon couldn't help but feel happy again. After all, magic can obviously prolong her life, and maybe she can hold on until after 2010, pretending to be born in the 2000s again and being smart with young people. With technological life hanging in front and magical fun driving nearby, Lennon became even more focused while learning the standard spell. The first one, which she is most familiar with, Lumos, fluorescent flicker. Note: the original text of Standard Spell Beginner. Curses differ from shape-shifting spells in the following ways. A spell adds specific attributes to an object or creature, while shape-shifting spells transform it into something completely different. Small spells are not difficult to crack, and as young wizards, the effects of the spells you learn will mostly disappear within days or even hours. The curse, poison curse, and curse are collectively referred to as the black magic curse. This book will not cover such spells. When casting a spell, distraction can lead to painful side effects. Remember the wizard Baruffio, who said F instead of S, only to find himself lying on the floor with a bison standing on his chest. Some spells are ineffective against large creatures such as monsters, and their animal skins can resist them unless powerful spells are used. There is this book in magic theory, but I haven't read it, so the content is fabricated. The content of Elementary Spell is true. End of this chapter.